Hello, and welcome back to Intermediate Podcast Series, the podcast that helps you take your English to the next level. I'm Sophia, your host for today, and if you're ready to make your English sound more natural, fun, and a little less textbooky, you've come to the right place.
And I'm Sebastian, and trust me, by the end of this episode, you'll be using idioms like a native speaker. You're going to want to stick around until the end because we're not only giving you some awesome idioms to use, but we'll also break down how they really fit into everyday conversations. Plus, we've got a special grammar tip related to idioms, and we're teaching you some new vocabulary along the way. So don't miss it.
Exactly. Today is part 1 of our series on understanding and using idioms. And guys, idioms are one of the things that really make a language come alive. They can be tricky because, let's face it, they don't always make literal sense. But once you learn them, you'll start to sound more fluent and natural.
Oh, and they can also be pretty funny. I mean, raining cats and dogs? Can you imagine? But that's the beauty of idioms. They add color to your language.
So, whether you're here to impress your friends, sound more like a native speaker, or just want to spice up your English skills, stay with us until the end. We promise by the time we're done, you'll be able to throw these idioms into your daily conversations with ease. Let's dive in. First things first, let's get on the same page. What is an idiom?
Great question. Simply put, an idiom is a phrase or expression where the meaning is different from the literal meaning of the individual words. Think of it as a shortcut to expressing an idea, but in a more colorful, often metaphorical way.
Exactly. For example, if I say, it's a piece of cake, I don't mean someone's handing me a slice of chocolate cake, though that'd be nice. I mean that something is really easy to do.
Right. And that's what makes idioms so fascinating. They're like puzzles. You need to understand the cultural or figurative meaning behind them. But once you start using them, it's like opening a door to a whole new level of communication.
And here's the cool part. Idioms are used all the time in everyday English, whether it's at work, in casual conversation, or even in TV shows and movies. They're everywhere. So today we're going to introduce you to 5 common idioms and break down how to use them naturally.
All right, let's jump into our first idiom. Are you ready? Here we go. Break the ice.
This is one you'll hear a lot in social situations. If someone says, let's break the ice, they don't mean literally breaking anything. It means to start a conversation in a relaxed way, especially with people you don't know very well.
Yeah, it's that moment when everyone is a bit quiet or nervous, and then someone tells a joke or asks a fun question to get things going. For example, at the meeting we played a game to break the ice. It's all about making people feel comfortable.
Exactly. So next time you're at a party or meeting new people, remember, breaking the ice can be as simple as asking, how's your day going?
All right, moving on to the next one. Under the weather.
This one is a bit tricky because it doesn't sound like it means what it does. Under the weather means feeling a little sick, not being in your best shape. If someone says, I'm feeling under the weather today, they're probably coming down with a cold or just not feeling well.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean they're seriously ill. It's more like, I'm not feeling 100%, maybe I should take it easy. You could say, I couldn't go to the gym yesterday. I was feeling under the weather.
And just like that, it's an easy and polite way to express that you're not feeling great without having to explain everything.
All right, the third one. Hit the nail on the head.
This is one of my favorites. If you hit the nail on the head, it means you've said or done exactly the right thing. You've nailed it.
Right? Imagine someone explains a complicated problem and another person says something that perfectly sums it up. You'd say, wow, you hit the nail on the head.
For example, when you said communication is key to solving that issue, you hit the nail on the head. It's all about precision.
Okay, up next, bite the bullet.
This one has a bit of a historical origin, and it means to do something difficult or unpleasant that you've been avoiding. Like when you finally decide to do that task you've been putting off.
For instance, I hate going to the dentist, but I'll have to bite the bullet and go next week. You're accepting that you need to do it, even if it's uncomfortable.
Exactly. It's all about facing a tough situation head on.
And finally, number 5, let the cat out of the bag.
This one's fun. If you let the cat out of the bag, you accidentally reveal a secret. So if someone was planning a surprise party and you told the person, you just let the cat out of the bag.
Exactly. I was trying to keep the project a secret, but John let the cat out of the bag in the meeting. It's used when something is revealed unintentionally.
Now that you've got those idioms down, let's take a quick look at something related to idioms that might confuse learners. Phrasal verbs.
Phrasal verbs are combinations of a verb and a preposition or adverb, like break down or look after. They're different from idioms because their meanings are often easier to figure out from the words themselves, though not always.
Right. So, for example, in the phrasal verb break down, it means something stops working, like, my car broke down on the way here. You can often guess the meaning, though idioms tend to be more metaphorical, like break the ice, which we discussed earlier.
A great way to remember the difference is that idioms are more abstract, while phrasal verbs are often more literal but can still be tricky.
Before we wrap up, let's quickly review 5 key vocabulary words from today that you can start using right away. Nail. In, hit the nail on the head. A nail is a piece of metal you hammer into something, but here it means getting something exactly right. Bullet. In bite the bullet, a bullet is a small piece of metal used in guns, but the idiom means facing something difficult. Weather. In under the weather, weather usually refers to conditions like rain or sunshine, but the idiom refers to not feeling well. Ice. In break the ice is frozen water, but here it means starting a conversation or easing tension in a social situation. Cat. In let the cat out of the bag, a cat is an animal, but the idiom refers to revealing a secret.
Let's paint a picture of how these idioms can pop up in real life. Imagine you're at a business meeting and things feel a bit stiff. You could break the ice by starting with a light joke or a fun fact, and boom, the conversation flows.
Or think about a day when you're feeling under the weather and you need to let your colleagues know. Instead of saying, I'm a little sick, you could say, I'm under the weather today. And it sounds much more natural.
Another situation could be during a debate or brainstorming session. You come up with the perfect solution, and someone says, you just hit the nail on the head. These idioms not only help you communicate more naturally, but they can also add flavor and flair to your language.
Here's a quick challenge for you listeners. In the next few days, I want you to try and use at least 2 of these idioms in real conversation. It could be with a friend at work or even in a text message.
And here's another tip. Don't just memorize them, practice them. The more you use these idioms, the more natural they'll become. Try incorporating them into your daily life, and soon you'll find that idioms just roll off the tongue.
Absolutely. Don't worry about making mistakes. That's part of learning. The key is to practice, and slowly but surely you'll start sounding more like a native speaker.
And if you're loving this dive into idioms, make sure to tune in next week for part 2, where we'll explore even more idioms. We're talking about some really exciting ones like cost an arm and a leg and spill the beans. You don't want to miss it.
That's right. We'll dig deeper into how to use idioms naturally and help you master them even further. We've only just begun.
So make sure to subscribe, leave us a comment, and let us know which idioms you find the most fun or the most challenging. We love hearing from you, and your feedback helps us create more episodes that meet your needs.
Thanks for joining us today. Keep practicing, keep learning, and we'll see you soon.
Take care, everyone.